Everybody, and welcome to the This Week in the Tech Boy podcast. Mission accomplished. SSA LTW has been officially completed, and now we can start doing our retrospective and start doing our analysis of the series. So expect to see a huge a point of new content coming in here. And then the website is going to stay online. You guys can enjoy all the content, and we're going to start to see how we can monetize it. We have some more things coming down the line. Maybe we'll write some more books for it. Maybe we'll put some ads on the website. Let's check that out here. But big news as I am in week one of my investigation of the Instatalk girls. I have downloaded a virtual machine application onto my phone so that I can safely use the Chicom Scrolly application. This application is called Virtual Master, and we have preloaded TikTok on here on a special copy of Android 11. Sometimes with the VPN running so that nothing gets leaked outside, because we are committed and dedicated to investigating this huge trend, this very, very large trend, because I do believe that there is some type of disconnect from the media and from what social media is trying to show us than to what the real world is and what real life is happening outside as well. So that's going to be our first topic of today. We're going to be talking about Instatalk. So you guys may remember that if you guys don't remember what Instatalk is, let me show it to you guys on the screen. It is this Instagram profile where it features such amazing content, such as let's just pull up the most recent video of 26 comment here. Yes, great, amazing dancing content here. They're singing or whatnot. Right, so that is what Instatalk is there as well. Now, there's also this other channel on Instagram called Instatalks_123. That's the one that we have delved into today. It has a little less following, only 200 and something followers, Instatalks123. So I'm just going to pull this back up on the screen today. But the reason they are more important or more significant to this investigation is because, as you can see on the screen, these people here have their at tag signs here, there. And the reason that's important is because we are able to then go in and pull the data off of their TikTok profile pages and create a list of how many followers they have, their names, which is just in their list here. So without further ado, I have compiled a spreadsheet here. Hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. A spreadsheet of the people have been on here. It's about 30 people that I've been investigating. Uh, you know, it's just very simple here. So we have their names here. The names essentially in their profiles here. We got Emma, Addie, Brookie, Peyton, Brooke, Lee, Minna. Maybe we can run this through ChatGPT and find out what the most Instatalk name would be. And then we have their usernames here. And then we have their followers here. So I did some data crunching. I did some data analysis here. And the average amount of followers, at least from these 30 or so Instatalk people that I have compiled here from the Instatalks over the few week, is about 4,400. No, sorry. I read that wrong. 44,034.28, which is just insane. I thought it was 4,000, but it's actually 44,000 here. And the reason for that is Emma comes in here with 57,000 followers here, 57,000 followers, and also Peyton. Oh my gosh. Almost a 500,000 people following Peyton over there. So Peyton's doing well for herself over in the Instatalk sphere as well. But, with such following as this, let me just do a quick little Excel calculation to add up the amount of people that have been watching this content. And according to Excel, the calculations is just slightly over 1 million, 1,100,857. So with a combined 1 million followers, not just counting the view count, Instatalk and TikTok people are apparently very big and very popular, right? 1 million people follow them, which is a percentage of America, right? That's a huge, insanely amount of a percentage of people they could classify as a minority. And that's just 26 accounts or so that we have been just pulled straight off the pages of Instatalks, right? And with something like this, with following this large, with people parodying them, creating whole dedicated Instagram pages for them when they actually are on TikTok. With all of this, I think I speak on behalf of all of America, which is, where the heck are they? I'm sorry. I have never seen this in my entire life. So I went over to the Chicom Scrolly application here in Virtual Master because I really wanted to get into and understand where these teens are coming from. I really want to understand this because as you know, the TechBoy media is now trying to transition into teen first focused media brand, right? After we roasted 17 magazine for caring about the LGBTQ blah 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 plus teens of America that don't exist, obviously. Right, we are trying to become a teen-focused podcast for teens by teens, teen-focused website for teens by teens. Right, you see this with SSA LTW. We've already reached out to some teen-centric creators. Now we're trying to reach out to some of these people, but as you can see, like they have huge, like some of these people have huge media agencies as well. So I went over to YouTube, typed in the day in the life of a teen, right? Yeah, we talked about one of those videos before. I called it the second to last hope for Gen Z or something like that. We went over to these people, and some of these teens have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of, oh, I got a notification from TikTok. Congratulations. Anyway, hundreds and thousands of these people, hundreds and thousands of subscribers. Like if you go into YouTube right now and you check it out, day in the life of a high schooler, you're going to pull up channels. I saw this one girl, and I figured out why. She's actually managed by a media agency, so I didn't talk to her because obviously I have to pay for her to come on the podcast. And her video didn't look that interesting anyway. But it was like some video of her like cleaning her room, redesigning her room for Christmas. This video was posted 4 months ago, so maybe in December or January or whatever, and it had like 300,000 views on it, and she had about 200,000 subscribers. So, you know, some of this content is just really, really insane here. But I had to go in, and you have to look into what they're wearing, and you can see this all points to conspiracy from Little Limit. Well, let's look through the outfits and clothing that's been worn here. I try to do my best to classify it, right? I'm not a clothing expert, but you can overwhelmingly see that the legging industry is doing well. The legging industry has made a name for itself, and it is doing a good job in here. So, you know, I've never seen these people. Okay, let's open up TikTok here on the screen here, and it's some of the most boring and ridiculous content. I honestly don't understand how people are spending hours and hours of their time sitting here, and and it was like, oh, the algorithm is really good, apparently, right? People are like, oh, the algorithm knows exactly what I want when I want it. Which, if that was true, right? For this research, I set up this account and put in the virtual machine onto the phone, and I guess maybe if I start typing in some more names, right, we'll get more of this type of content. But right now, it just seems like it's a whole bunch of slop. Which, I mean, really doesn't make sense since I thought the Instagram algorithm was, the TikTok algorithm was supposed to be really good. Like the Snapchat algorithm was terrible. It shows you this like fat man, woman running around the mall for some reason. The Instagram algorithm's terrible. Just shows you a whole bunch of like meme Instagram racism videos or whatever. And the TikTok algorithm, which is supposed to be the thing that's supposed to hook you on there and have you scrolling on TikTok for 11 hours a day, seems extremely boring and it doesn't seem really algorithmic-esque at all, right? And when you look at this list here, I mean, like I've said, where are these people? And second of all, like, again, what are you doing? Like, if you have 1 million people watching or following this, you should at least see some signs of evidence. But I've actually never seen anyone do a TikTok dance like this in my life. I'm not going to throw out any exceptions. I'm not going to throw out any clarifications. I've never seen this in my life. Has anyone on this podcast actually seen this? Like, this is a huge phenomenon. And now let's get into another thing that I've been noticing here as well. Now, some of these people have been doing stuff indoors, like taking the videos indoors, but some of these people still are walking around and taking these videos outdoors, right? And most of these people have at least a friend doing it with them. Like here you have one on the screen. Hopefully you guys, I'm going to pull this up. This is the second video from InstaTalks, okay? Video number 2. Look, they're standing outside, wearing kind of the same outfits here. And they have they're standing outside on I guess a track or something right here, right? So it's not like these people just like cooped up inside or doing something like that. No, they're actually, going, standing outside. I've actually never seen this in any school that I've actually really attended to. Like I've seen like maybe one person stand up and do a TikTok dance, but they're not going to be appearing here. I don't think they went viral because, I mean, think about it, you have to go viral enough for some random 200 follower account to pick you up and then repost you on their Insta_Talks 123 account, as well as reposting from some other account that has thousands and thousands of followers and subscribers as well. So, I've been doing these investigations, and I think I want to get one of them on the channel, or at least on the show. First of all, we're trying to appeal to more teens, and obviously this appeals to a major demographic, an untapped demographic, what a demographic that I have not tapped yet. Because, I mean, millions and millions of people are watching this, millions and millions of people are following and liking and sharing this type of content, right? If you have that, I mean, it's on type demographic. And I also want to ask them some questions, So I'm going to send this out. I'm putting this out there. Maybe one of them will pick it up. Maybe one of them is watching right now. Who knows? Maybe it could be one of the two people that are watching this live stream. So I'm just going to put out this message to the people. Maybe it will get shared around and they'll find it. So I'm inviting any one of you to come on to the podcast, to come in and talk anytime, any place, anywhere, right now. And heck, you guys can call into the show right now. It's not like I have a script that's going on right now. It's not like I have any interviews that need to be done unless I can get one. Anyway, and I'm going to ask you, like, first of all, where do you get your video ideas? Where do you get your ideas for this content, the lip syncing and the songs and the outfits? And are you paid by Little Lemon, or are you paid by them? Because if you are, congratulations. Second of all, I like to talk about, where you get your ideas. Are you paid by Little Lemon? Or who do you know that actually watches this? Like, where are you? What state are you in? Maybe it's not a Texas thing. Maybe it's a North Dakota thing. Maybe it's a Nevada thing. I don't know. But this is a huge phenomenon that apparently I haven't seen, that no one's seen that. I'm still interested. So that's just an update on this phenomenon that's going on. We're going to keep this as a recurring series until we get some answers. All right. So yeah, we're going to keep this as a recurring series until we get some answers, because TikTok dancing is I have nothing else to do, so we might as well investigate that as well. So I was talking to Grok, and I wanted to find out some local Houston newspaper, and I actually found one. For some reason, when you search up local Houston newspapers, right, all you're going to get, especially on YouTube, is Fox 26, KPLC, Fox, ABC, local affiliate, right? So, always in the movies and in the sitcoms and in the TV shows and in the audio dramas, you always have the kid characters and like some local random reporter who's always trying to uncover some big scandal and always uncover it. Or, the kid detective, Emily Jones type, goes in, and she goes in and investigates and finds some local event that happened 25 years ago, and it's big. They always go back into the news archives. The student news council, the student news room is competent, so like. But when you look at the local media here in Texas, like, what is going on here? What the local media is trash. Like, it's not some nice local story. It's not some nice news story going around here about some no. It's just like sanitized story that no one cares about. Like, oh, there's a fire there, or some local bakery opened up here. It's not like some nice investigatory thing. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You know how the people in Adventure Odyssey, at least, will go around, and Emily will go in and look into the news archives and find out that someone new moved into town, and they actually will then find out that they actually were criminals 40 years ago, and they'll go drive around the town and do some investigation or something like this. I'm going to show you an example of a local Houston newspaper. I had it bookmarked. I'm going to try to find an example of a local. I actually emailed them too to try to see if they could run a story about me. So be nice to them, okay? But I'm pretty sure they're a nice newspaper, and it's actually so hard to find. I had to use Grok to find it here. I'm speaking about Grok. I really like Grok, but those people who are like tagging Grok and be like, "Yeah, guys, Grok is better than Google. Grok is the next thing." Grok. I don't use Google anymore. I just use Grok all the time. That's just annoying. Just shut up, okay? Google is still is the best search engine, in my opinion. All right, so I'm gonna search my sent emails because I can't find the bookmarks because the Chrome bookmark manager is trash. Okay, look there's my yearly Google criticism. Okay, now no more Google criticism from me until next year. All right, so we're gonna go to the website called myneighborhoodnews.com, and it's a actual local website. It looks like it's mostly for people in North Houston to it's actually for people in North Houston to read news about their community. They don't live in North Houston, but whatever. And I thought, wow, this is actually interesting. Interesting concepts. Some local reporters with localized with some localized districts, as you can see on the screen. You have the North Houston, Katy, Tomball, West Houston, don't see a community. I guess they'll let you add it here. You have some ads here. Access that interesting little web design. Wow, guys, look, the web is not dead. You have this great stuff. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot that FOC was happening today. FOC is like one of the gayest things ever. At least they kept passing out those pride things. I think I did a report on this 2 years ago where I just was like, yeah. So FOC just hands out pride flags everywhere they want to go. Anyway, look at the news reports here. So we got some spring ISD students did something. Okay, that's nice. A new Sam's Club is coming to Tomball. Professionalism award, a gracious professionalism award from some Tomball ISD robotics school. Look at this news here. Does this look like anything that someone's going to dig back up in 30 years and be like, yeah, guys, what we really, really need is to go back and investigate this. Like maybe the one thing that they can investigate is if one of these kids was like did something wrong, or investigate a crime, or maybe it could be like this could be like their alibi. Like, no, I wasn't at the barn burnt to the ground. I was at Reefscape. Like maybe, but like, come on. It always in the news, in sitcoms and things like this. The news is always portrayed as interesting. Does this look remotely interesting to you? It's the kind of local content that I'm interested in because if you go to Fox 26 or KPRC, it's boring. Okay, so this is as local as it's gonna get, and it's just it's nothing, absolutely nothing. I mean, really, why do we even have the internet if we're just gonna have stuff like this? Like, come on, shouldn't the media be at least a little bit more interesting? Like, the kids are always going in there, they're going analyzing the microfiches and looking at old archives and pulling up stuff and having investigatory cases. There's no one in the city of Tomball or the Woodlands or West Texas. No one's ever committed a crime. Come on, people. None of y'all committed crimes. Nothing interesting. There's no scandal in the mac and cheese at your local school, right? And if you think this just applies to regular newspapers, you think, well, maybe if you want the real scoop, you have to go into like high school news. No, okay, no, okay. Remember when I talked about a few weeks ago SNO site, which is the #1 site for high school newspapers because it's a specific company built for sharing high school newspapers, which is I should create a company like that. That's really smart, right? So the platform is designed so that people can share high school newspaper articles as well. So I'm on the website, and since the website it's public, all we have to do is go find something from the city of Houston. Let's pick a high school because they probably have the best journalism. Let's go back into the great state of Texas. All right, and then we're going to go into just go to Houston or the Houston surrounding areas. So Austin. Okay, we're just gonna scroll around a little bit. Oh, there we go, Houston. All right, this is from Cypress Falls High School in Houston. All right, Cypress. Cypress is it's small enough that it might be nice. So let's go look over into the wingspan. All right, it's pulling up. Oh, okay. This actually has a nice little design. They have you can submit a letter to the staff. They have some pictures here. They have Little Shop of Horrors opens at Cypress Falls. But this is interesting. This is interesting. Except the this might as well have been last year for a newspaper. This is the headline for a newspaper. Yeah. So it doesn't look like that they've updated this newspaper since January, and then they didn't do anything since 2022 November 10th to January of 2025. So yeah. All right, let's pick up another thing. All right, let's go to Upstream News. This one has an award. Oh, okay. St. John's School. It's actually, St. John's School's newspaper is actually pretty decent. I've actually read it before. All right, I've actually been to at least the stadium before. So let's pull up St. John's School, and then we're going to pull up Upstream News from Carnegie Vanguard. These two have awards on them. You guys can see this, right? Yeah. So St. John's has I don't even know what these awards mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 awards on it. And Upstream News from Carnegie Vanguard has just 1 award, but it's better than something. So let's go to the review from St. John's High School, April 25th. So that's good. Actually publishing the news from yesterday. They have some news from what the. Okay, what is this headline? Okay, whatever. Well, at least I have news from this month in the school, so that's great. So what about in the archives, or whatever? What about some local event that's happening, some scandal that's going to be uncovered? I don't see any scandals here. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. Finally, people. What? Okay. Yeah. I still don't see any scandals here, except for School and Truth Social. But whatever. But it does look decent. But I'm not seeing any scandals here. Let's go look into the video game thing. This actually looks interesting. Oh, they didn't make the game. Oh, okay. Well, I don't care. All right, and now let's go over to Carnegie High School. I think it's the public school. St. John's is a private school. Ooh, they have a feature on a student? Okay, that's interesting. That's it? I mean, what? I was alive on April 8th. I don't remember there being snow on the ground. Where's this school? Is it Houston, Texas? I'm going to change this so that you guys can see this article. But on April 8th, there was not snow on the ground. Oh, you mean on January 21st, there was snow on the ground. But you published it on April 8th. And that'd be like me writing an article. Fuck the inauguration now. Why? You're a newspaper. But at this point, you might as well wrote an entire documentary about the effects that snow had on the school 4 months ago. That is old. That is so old. You people, the people who wrote that act like tropical storm Enzo hit. Oh, really? This is interesting. I don't remember the. Oh, wait, you mean the snowstorm that we had 4 months ago? I like that. That's what the problem is. No scandals, no nothing. And then when people go back 50 years and go read that article, I guess they're gonna be like, "Wow, it was snow in April." But just what? All right, so we went through a local Houston newspaper, which is increasingly hard to find, and found nothing. No scandal, nothing. No interesting, no investigations, nothing that even some kid could do an investigation about if they wanted to, like some cold case or something. We went through some random trash high school newspaper. Then we went to the top 2 ranked, according to this, 5-1 awards of some newspaper. The number 1 awarded newspaper had News about a snowstorm that happened 4 months ago, and then the review just was talking about some Bloxburg app or something like that. I just why? Wait, what? So I am firmly convinced that the media and like heck, even Invention Odyssey has lied to us. Has lied to us. I mean, it's just these two things. They kind of link in together. You got the TikTok people here who are just like, well, okay, it's apparently some kind of giant conspiracy. And then you have the news, which is apparently super boring. So yeah, but you know it's not boring. Perplexity. Perplexity is my artificial intelligence assistant of choice alongside Grok. But I do like what Perplexity is doing, kind of. So, but I'm still a Google fan. It's my search engine of choice. And Perplexity has come out and defended Google, saying that it wants to Perplexity wants to buy Google's Chrome. Oh my gosh. What the It's just this so there's some news stories that's come out about Perplexity. And remember when we were talking about how the DOJ wants to break up Google? Stupid DOJ. Don't do that. Okay. Imagine using Perplexity browser. But whatever. Perplexity has actually come out and said that it wants to have user choice on Android, which is fine. Whatever. Right. But they want, people to be able to use it as a default search engine, default assistant. If you have a modicum of technology, you can do it. I said it's my default assistant here. But what they are saying is that Google's not a monopoly. Just want to have fair competition. And I do believe that Google is not a monopoly. They actually came out to Google's defense, saying that they don't want Google to be broken up, which is smart. That's actually smart because they know that if Perplexity ever were to dethrone Google and if Perplexity was ever to do this, then, the DOJ or whatever regulators are still going to be coming for them. Right? So good for Perplexity, but once again, Perplexity just wants, it to be the default assistant over here on Motorola or whatever. This should not, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It should be Gemini. Gemini sucks, but people can see that it sucks by itself. They can download Perplexity and they can use it. Right? Like this is Google's platform allowing you to use it for free. They should at least have the benefit of having their own products and services on their dang platform. Like imagine if Apple TV was like, hey guys, so I noticed that Apple TV has the Apple logo on here, but you have to decide whether you want Android or Android TV or Google TV, or do you want Apple TV on here? Like I know you bought the Apple TV for an Apple TV, but no. So I am glad that Perplexity's not over here screaming, "Oh, it's a monopoly! Google's restricting us." When obviously they're not. I mean, if Google was restricting you, they wouldn't have to put you in their Play Store. If Google was restricting you, they wouldn't have to let you set it as a default assistant. If Google was restricting you, they wouldn't have to let you use it as an app. Right, and you know how much I criticize apps and web apps and things like this. I was looking at some video of some Firefox phone was like a phone that just for web apps. Which I mean, honestly, that's what it should be now. I mean, honestly, I don't really like web apps. I'm not a fan of it. But like when you look at the top apps used by people, notes, camera stuff, that's all built into the phone. And then you have the top apps: Instagram, TikTok, Reddit. I mean, it's over. I've given up. Okay, I have more things to investigate. I have things to investigate with TikTok. I have things to investigate with the news. I don't have the time to investigate why people want to use PWAs and things like of that nature. I don't have time to investigate why people are doing this. And like I've been debating. The web is dead. Okay, the web is dead. We killed it, and that's just how it is. Right? That's all you need is a web app. But Perplexity. They still have apps. They still have a service. They still think that there's innovation to be had. So good on them. Good on Perplexity. And actually, an article that I just had randomly lying around became very popular for some reason. It's always those articles. I didn't think this article was actually going to do that well. But it's the article. It's an article I had to write an article. I have a commitment to write 3 articles every day. I didn't want to do another video clip. This is the Vortex V3. It's going back. It's getting returned back to Amazon. Why does this phone exist? I'm sorry, but the Motorola Razr is the most overrated phone ever. Okay, the Motorola Razr in its time was trash. Okay, it's an overrated phone. But apparently some people have nostalgia for the Motorola Razr, so they liked it. All right, that's fine. Whatever. This phone is nothing of what the alleged Motorola Razr was. This phone is made out of plastic. It's super duper creaky. Its software is super duper buggy. And like, why does this phone exist? Like, I slammed the light phone. Apparently, people like me slamming the light phone. Actually, they didn't like me slamming the light phone. On one of those videos, I actually uploaded it twice. But on one of those videos, I had a 20% like ratio, but it got brought in the views. It's one of the most popular viewed video. I think it's like 3 and 4, and it's both the phone. So people really liked or hated me slamming the light phone, but they liked watching the video. So thank you all to my haters. But like, the light phone actually makes more sense than this piece of junk. So the light phone does not run full Android. The light phone costs $800, but at least the light phone has a full keyboard. Again, you can send your text here. This thing you have to send with your weird-looking T9 texting phone thing, but whatever, it's $40. The UI is horrible. The battery life is horrible. Why would anyone buy this phone? Okay, everything about it is trash, right? And it's not, they're not even going out the way to be like, oh, it's a dumb phone, right? It's not a good Motorola Razr replica because it's super creaky, it's super, it breaks, and the battery life is terrible. So I guess that's kind of replication. And the user interface is also terrible, but not terrible like the original Motorola Razr. Terrible like it's terrible for an Android phone. And it's $40, and you can't even use this as your full phone. Why would you buy this? Why would anyone buy this phone? It's a piece of junk. And once again, I heard that Vortex was linked to something with pushing immigration or something. So whatever. And it's just, why does this phone exist? It really shouldn't. Like, I'm glad it exists because you can be like have props in a historical show if you were to like scrape off the Vortex and be like, hey guys, what's my Razr? It's a conversation started. Be like, oh yeah, I gotta call my mom. Oh wait, the battery's about 1%. Hey, hello. Like, I guess, and you can do stuff like that. I mean, yeah, whatever. This really shouldn't exist. Like, if you want an overpriced but decent quality phone, look at the light phone. And I will slam the light phone. No one should buy the light phone. The light phone is a piece of junk, and apparently it's just running some random launcher. Okay, the light phone, is borderline a scam. Okay, but it is garbage. But I mean, even the Vortex V3 is more garbage than the light phone, which really says something. Like the light phone should not exist. It should not. And the whole minimalism and dumb phone argument is ridiculous, right? The truth of the matter is that if 4 apps disappeared off our phone, no one would use them. If Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, etc., because I saw some video about how Snapchat from Logically Entered was in debt or not making money, which makes sense because how would Snapchat even make money? You send chats for free. You take pictures for free, all on a server-based thing, because everyone thinks, oh, wow, guys, you can have your 5G connection, you have a server, which kind of minimalizes the importance of smartphones. Why does your phone need this much storage and processing power when all you're doing is literally connecting to a web app thing here? Like that girl from 2 weeks ago. She was testing out this MacBook with a $50 Chromebook and was like, well, Pop Tropica runs on it. Of course it does. It's a website. Everyone's just is running websites. It just makes no sense. In this phone, the Vortex V3 cannot even accomplish that simple task of running the basic web apps. And, I need to go away and digital detox. Just like delete the apps off your phone. Okay, you'll be fine. You already have a phone. Like no one's buying this as a first phone for their kid or whatever. Whoa, I need to call my Okay, first of all, this thing you put in a backpack, it's gonna crack in half. Second of all, this thing would die in a high school. This thing you you would either lose it in your pocket, it's either gonna snap in half because there's no what is this? You're probably gonna miss a call. It's actually gonna die, like not crack in half, but actually like die. The battery's gonna run out. Not like this is gonna be a whole community of Vortex V3 who's running around here. Oh, let me get you a portable battery. Everyone's talking about like when the S5 came out. Oh well, it has a removable battery. You can just put in a battery whenever you need to. Who's charging these batteries, people? Think it through. Now you have a special non-phone battery charger? Yeah, I doubt that. Okay, just absolutely ridiculous. All right, now let's talk about SSA LTW in our final episode, officially final thing. SSA LTW, the election, not the book, but the election, the article, which is the final official SSA LTW article. That's probably where we're going to leave it here. There might be a few edits here because I forgot to put in one scene. I just remembered that. But this is SSA LTW, the election, which is kind of fitting because that's how the book started, November 9th, 2020. Not the book, the web series started on November 9th, 2022, when Ethan Shea runs against the media and the press and literally everyone to stop him from becoming president because reasons. They thought that was going to be like vetoing Planned Parenthood or whatever. Like, what? This is wrong with you. Anyway, here we go. SSA LTW the election. SSA classified the election. Because we have our SSA LTW the election book finally linked on here so that they've come together. And we're going to be talking about the book a little bit more on here as well. So, this article details how SSA is working. So, the school year's over. SSA is working on Maverick's campaign, conducting that analysis to secure his electoral victory. And we're actually going to get to that one because I forgot that you haven't seen the second to last article. In Riz, we trust. So mission accomplished. We've done it. All right. So SSA-LTW has intercepted information pertaining to Crush War 3. That's the war that happened because of the stock markets and the leaked software, right? But we've intercepted information how SSA in ninth grade wanted to invade GCAM, but in order to invade GCAM, they had to get rid of SSA so that, according to these leaked documents, they could get the GCAM members, right? So essentially, this is what they would have said if they were writing the national anthem and actually cared, right? Quote, "Oh, that's be it ever when ninth grade shall stand between the love school and war's desolation. Blessed for victory and peace, may the heaven rescue land, praise the power that hath made and preserved us a grade. Then invade GCAM we must, when our cause it is just, and this be our motto. In Riz is our trust." So, SSA tried to prevent this, we were the NATO of the school protected by SSA, or SSA wanted to invade GCAM for the good of the school, to protect and spread democracy, to prevent Mali's terror and growing sphere of influence, to better SSA and GCAM into 2024 when Genevaism as a new student council president, ninth grade. The ninth grade wanted to invade GCAM, to date GCAM, to threaten school stability, and poured in was cornered into it right via the stock market's increasing pressure. Now, SSA did monitor via a brand new Snapchat. No evidence is found here. We counter-signaled the end of the war with the quote, and most importantly, remember to keep Jesus the center of your life as per Operation Normal. So, SSA has essentially come together, and they counter-signaled the end of Course War 3. SSA is always counter-signaling, always coming in and yapping about something that no one's really understanding until get into the context. But then we lead into the election. So the prom is done. SSA does not invade the prom with the FBI. That would have been kind of funny. But anyway, this is the ATF just like beating down the door. Anyway, so I am over here doing some statistical analysis. So if you guys are interested in high school student council election maneuvering or consulting, just contact me at the bottom of the page. Contact at TheTechBoy.org. Anyway, as you can see on the screen, that's what we're doing here. We're looking over the maps. These are the real maps. We just changed out the images of the real school to this fake church school and the 3D model school that we have here. As you can see, it's 31 people to win, not 270, not 27, like it was in the last election, because I guess more people came to school, more immigration. So Maverick say for GCA press conference, Miles presenting key strategies to help Maverick win. So essentially, he was down 2 in 9th grade, down 5 in 10th grade, plus 2 in 11th grade, and minus 2 in 12th grade. And essentially, the votes that he had would be 9, 6, 6, and 5, which was not enough. So we needed to have a few more students come in here as well. And essentially, this actually kind of wraps up how SSA-LTW worked. How it worked. Maybe we can just dedicate an entire episode to how the series works. But, now with SSA withdrawal, with just Maverick in the school, we have SSA back Jayla, the most powerful student in the school, which is right behind Javian's now newfound Jaylaism. Now, 9th grade, no longer influenced by World War V, which was when Valerie nuked Hazel 1.0, or Crush War 3 was back in SSA script. That's significant immigration boosted by the school's population. The new 9th grade will be a formidable force comprising an estimated 25% of the student body, which means you would need to focus on these endorsements, I say. If he secures President Allison's endorsement, it would boost his support by 20%, which would be going into 12th grade. And if we win the 9th grade, Jada might endorse him as well, especially as he has allies with Kea and the basketball team. So essentially, the plan was to target Pogus, Geneva, and Hazel 2.0 to win the sister vote, bringing in 8 voters, bringing in 61% of the 12th grade vote. As this is not a great whole college, you just win based on an electoral high school. You just win based on the overall percentage. If you win majority percentage of each grade, you automatically win. That's the strategy here. If you get secure Dash's vote, he gets Camilla's and vice versa. Then you need to analyze the swing grades, 10th and 11th grade. See, the problem with this is, as you guys may remember, back in the original, when Ethan Shea is running for president of the school, Elijah wants to ally with him, but, Elijah is not allied with the vice presidential running mate, which would be at this time Geneva, and they would not be allied with mostly anyone. So he would kind of be bringing in some more 9th grade basketball players, trading off some of the more powerful kids in the school. So that was a trade-off that we had to look through here as well. And then we come up with this great idea, right? You can't. Oops, I'm gonna have to fix that to not Molly. So suggesting bringing in sports to the school, which was a common thing over at Energizer, which was ridiculous because it would be unconstitutional, like literally illegal. Then he comes up with this great idea: 10 pizza parties a year, about $30, hosted during lunchtime for the best grade. Boom! You win every grade. You give them free food. You give them something to look to, and some of those pizza parties are already provided for and already happen, right? So essentially, what this is trying to make sure, not trying to market yourself of bringing something that always happens, no matter what, no matter who's in administration. If there was no president of the school, it would always happen. That's what you have to focus on, and that's what you have to do, right? But if you're running for that against someone who's doing that, of course you have to target them on that. Like I would target people on that as well. I'd be like, this doesn't matter, okay? Like if this didn't happen, if this event didn't happen, it would be more of an accomplishment than if it does happen. Like, yes, this happens every year. It's a tradition for the past 20 years. Of course it happened, people. Like, that's not an accomplishment of your administration, but whatever. But the B plot is SSA is also trying to back. So with Maverick, it's essentially easy. What you need is JVN support all of GCAM, which is essentially just GS at this point, his home grade, and some 9th graders, and that's easy, right? That's all you need to do. That's all you need to win. You need to win JVN support, GCAM, home grade, some 9th graders. Boom. Landslide sweep, you win. Also, like who's running against you? No one. Okay, so you automatically win your grade, and but now we want VP Geneva to win the election, which is really, really hard here because GCAM is dead. Okay, GCAM is over. Cooked. People. Okay, first of all, G went from 5 to 2. Okay, which with the numbers that we're playing around with here is a lot. Okay, you need those 3 voters too. So cooked. Also, the last remaining GCAM members here. Like Samu, for whatever reason, in SSA polls was like declining. Okay, so like maybe at 50% when she first came in the story, Samu rising. Maybe now like 45, 40, okay, 35, 30. Okay, like we were doing some stuff like this. We're like, oh well, what would happen if Vera, which is like the third party random candidate from 2023, ran against Summer, right? We like to play these games, right? Maybe we'll put these online, right? I like to play these games. Vera would beat her, which is no. Okay, so the cream of the crop GCAM numbers, they're gone. Okay, so yeah, cooked. All right, now we look at how GCAM has actually been able to manage things when they actually went to war. Yeah, you might forget the entire plot line of this entire series was the GCAM JVN war, right? It was centered around GCAM and essentially some JVN members, right? And we gave the answers and reasons to that war in a story on the website somewhere, so guys can check it out. But anyway, Jayla and Jenna, part of the GCAM JVN war, right? If you would think that if you had a war for something and you tied or won, that your opponents wouldn't be winning elections, you would think. Jayla, neutral and apolitical, got 20-something% of the vote in an actual poll that we did here, along with another Dravian member who also got 27% of the vote, which means her entire agency got about 45% of the vote over here. You shouldn't be winning elections like that. And also, Maverick hacked into that election and added at least 5 or 6 extra votes. So, that election was really, really close between her and a GK member that doesn't exist anymore. Maria, right? Exists in story rights in the series anymore. So, when these people are away, well, I mean, who the students going to vote for? And also, Jenna, right? What was censored around 50%. Okay, 50% smack, like landslide. Okay, it was like 50-12 in one of these competitions. 50-12. I would think that if you fought a war, and yeah, you went there or whatever. 50-12. Oh my gosh. Dude, 37-point swing in one of these elections just for them wasn't the largest swing. 50-12, 38-point swing right there for the person of the world versus the incumbent vice president. Yeah, if I was the vice president, I think, well, I'm cooked, and yeah, Jenna graduated, whatever, but cooked. And the reason this happened is because, of course, Jayla did back her and get half school years. But, whatever, Jayla backs whoever she wants. But, in the story, Jayla is backed more by Addison, even though she's portrayed as neutral. Yeah. If Jayla backs Addison, I'm cooked. I'm dead. It's over. Yeah. So, despite, GCAM antagonism, despite post-Great Recon, secured over 50% of the vote in the overwhelming victory of Vladimir campaigning, and Jada and her allies going over 45% in a disputed, potentially stolen election. This influence would obviously carry over. Jayla leaning towards Allison and Summers popularly dipping, potentially losing the very end hypothetical election, GCAM needed solutions. The 9th grade supported Allison. Overwhelming, the new 9th grade. The 10th grade was split on her, neutral and anti-Summer. The swing 11th grade was led by Jayla, Allison, and Molly, likely controlled the 12th grade, which, makes sense. Duh. And SSA and Addison's relatively successful presidency. It's like nothing bad happened. The things that happened in the story have nothing to do with the presidency or without the presidency of Addison. A lot could have been in office and the same stuff would have happened. Okay, she didn't do anything to stop it. Do anything to influence it. Well, at least outwardly influence it. Molly just be doing stuff. But none of this stuff that happens. It all centers around Ethan Shea and what he's doing in office and what he's doing to spark wars. The GKM war would have happened no matter who got elected. Maybe it might have started slow it up. Now that's one thing that we can investigate here. That's another thing here. So the website's not dead here. We're going to have all these questions here. But no matter who's in office, the entire controversy, the wars, when Damien's running around, threatening Summer, that has nothing to do with President Addison. That has nothing to do with it. Okay, so in terms of politically, yes, she's doing well. In terms of socially, she didn't really do anything. Okay, so she's she's the most restrained president ever. Okay, if she didn't call in drone strikes on anyone, which would have been funny. Okay, I was Secretary of State. I could just call in drone strikes and then hey, it's drone strike that group over there. But I guess she wouldn't sign off on it. But I guess maybe we can outvote a veto of GCAM, the VP. Anyway, but the point of this is that the presidency was successful. And yes, some of those things happened because of the vice president and the Secretary of State and all these things here. But if you just say we had a great administration, and you don't really touch on events in your campaign, you're obviously going to win here, especially with this kind of backing here where you destroyed someone 50-12. Okay, I'm sorry, but winning 50-12, yeah, it's over for you. All right, and then all you have to do is be authentic, taking credit only for administration success. Geneva had problem, but Addison had the power of the incumbency, right? And it was easy win. SSA was innovative and adept at deflecting rumors. Right, I would say that even naturally adept. Some of the stories that would be detrimental to anyone else, SSA was just whatever. Remember the entire press conference thing, November 9th, that entire thing? That didn't really have anything to do much with the election. Maybe it swayed to vote was really close. It had some stuff to do with the election. But I still had over 100 votes. Okay. Close to 100. Depends on what the student actual numbers were, right? Who showed up to school that day, right? Well, remember when everyone was like, "Oh, racist," whatever. Nothing. When everyone was like, "Oh, the Watergate spying on people," nothing. Nothing stuck. Nothing would sink. Nothing would sink. Okay, it's just like, oh well, the fake text message thing to trick Damien. Nothing. Like it's just whatever got thrown at me or whatever would have done nothing. Now, it would have been different if I was in 11th grade because I would have done different stuff because to maintain popularity to run for president again. But like nothing. Okay, literally nothing. But GCam wasn't like that. Like you attack them on something. If it's more normal, you attack them on something. Normally when you have 3 months long wars with people, you kind of like go down, right? If SSA did that, nothing would happen. But GCAM is battle worn. They need to be battle born. As the Maverick returned to school, reports indicate a larger student body than last year, offering hope that the newcomers, unfamiliar with Allison, could be swayed by Geneva. I posted an endorsement from Maverick as election day near, banking on sadism and nepotism, with finally bated breath. I waited Maverick's win and Allison's expected landslide. I expect SSA agent text and SSA agent confirmed Allison at 1, but we were tied. That being the whole informal competition that I have for it. The Mavericks suddenly lose to Geneva, pulled off the impossible one, making Pocus Addison vice Pocus because apparently no one ran for VP. So the GCAM at Triumph, homecoming was proof, and SSA had led the way. There were many things that SSA did, which, if been one by one, the work itself cannot contain. The books, which were written, obviously reference to the last verse in the book of John. It has been a joy sharing the series. Website will remain online, and perhaps some what-if style articles or new books will follow. We also see student councils, as Teen Spy consultations at contact at TheTechBoy.org. God bless, and SSA lead the way. So that is the official ending of SSA LTW, but now we've got to talk about the SSA LTW book. Who are the 3 people watching this? I'm sorry that you guys are this bored. Imagine. Anyway, SSA LTW, the election book. What if Ethan Shea had more time to run for president? What if he had more student support, greater political freedom? What if SSA LTW, the election, explores these thrilling possibilities? This exciting political thriller will keep you on the edge of your seat as critical questions emerge. Would Geneva beat Molly? How will the eruption of World War V affect the election? Meet intriguing new characters and uncover hidden motives. What is Valerie really up to? So, guys, make sure you buy the book. It's essentially all of my high school electoral fantasies put into one book. So, think about it. March of school. We have, assassination attempts. We got, scooter chases. We got, actually competent people trying to spy on you, trying to defeat you. We got, multiple news agencies. We got high-tech stuff. We got some computer hacking. We have some viral debate moments in this book. We have, people who are actually focused and dedicated. Oh, also, most important, we have people coming over to our house. I know, groundbreaking, earth-shattering, amazing. So yeah, that is SCLTW, The Election, the book. All of my fantasies put into one book, only for $3 about high school elections. So check it out. And also, we have one new character, Sydney, who does not appear in the thing. Elijah, and it has been split into 2. He essentially becomes an 11th grader so that we can have him actually run for president and actually be useful. And then we actually have him as a 9th grader. But it's his 2 personalities split into 2. So kind of how Mr. Whitaker got split into Jack and Jason Whitaker when he got when his actor died, the first actor. All right. So yeah, that is the This Week in the Tech Boy podcast. We're trying to focus to become a more teen media space here. So that's what we're working here on at the company here, trying to produce more and more articles for you, more and more teen entertainment. I guess we can continue this as a LTW series, but also most importantly, we have to find out what are these people up to. Who are these Insta-talkers? Who are these TikTok dancing people? How do you find them on Instagram? Because they do not appear. Where are they? Where the heck are they? And how can we find them? So I'm hoping to get a whole bunch of more teens on here. Just fill it up in here. Lots more people. This is the conversations that teens are having, that teens want to have. Maybe we'll launch a teen Discord server as well. I'm working on that. But if you're a teen, you want to come on the show, email me. And also don't forget consultations for SSALTW theme stuff, spy consultations, electoral consultations, So God bless. Tech talk to you later.